Welcome back and thank you for joining me again at the Seattle Card Kid. Today you are going to witness episode 1 of a 4-part series, Seattle Card Kid in Japan. Right here, the whole squad, we're in Tokyo, in the Shibuya area, going on a collectibles hunt at Don Quixote. As we walk in, you see the gashapon vending machines. Did not get to see enough of those, as much of those as I wanted to during my time there. Here is some of the only sports collectible stuff that I saw on my entire trip in Japan. Looks like a bunch of Roki Sasaki and Shohei Ohtani bobbleheads and figures and collectibles. Those players especially are huge in Japan. Here in the front of the store was also some Pokemon card vending machines, which was kind of cool, but I did not end up getting any of those, just looked at them. This was pretty close to the beginning of the trip, so I didn't want to spend all my money right away on random things. I wanted to see what there was to see. Pokemon stuff everywhere at this place. Pokemon facial masks, and this was like a 7-story building. 7-story department store, so it was kind of overwhelming a little bit, all the stuff that was in there. But this, if you have never gone to Japan and you end up going, this is kind of a cool place to do a collectibles hunt, just because they have so much stuff here and just Pokemon everything. This was the next floor up. Pokemon shirts. What I did like was the name. They had the Japanese names of the Pokemons on the shirt, which was kind of cool. You had Pokemon underwear, literally Pokemon everything in this place. It's Japan, birthplace of the Pokemon. Pokemon socks, anything and everything you could think of. Tote bags, reusable bags. There was Pokemon luggages there, just anything you can think of. Pokemon was cool for a lover of a Pokemon like me. This was really cool to just go in there and just look at everything there was to see. Wifey went here for facial stuff, for beauty care, and they all had a ton of that, so I was following her around. When I would find collectibles, I would get distracted and go take some footage and look at that stuff. And then we had a bunch of One Piece stuff.
Are they meeting up? Are they done?
That Spider-Man action figure, Super Mario stuff, some more One Piece, some Star Wars Funko Pops and figures. There was all kinds of stuff here. Kind of got hard for me at a certain point to decide what I wanted to pick up. But you'll see that at the end of the video. We'll do a haul and a reveal as to what we grabbed at the Shibuya Don Quixote. That Mace Windu did catch my eye, but it had a bunch of tape all over it, and then as I'm an inbox collector, and that was not going to work for me. Was just wandering through the facial area, and I saw this display with all these giant Pokeballs in there, which was pretty awesome. And then some mystery grab bags as well. found a Godzilla section, which was awesome because I was really keen to get some Godzilla memorabilia, and they had this whole area that had pins and pens and fridge magnets, keychains and plushies and action figures and
Crazy pants.
I think there was even some posters and shirts. It was like a very small area, but there was all kinds of stuff in it, as you can see there. Kind of trying to give you a view of the little Godzilla area in the Don Quixote that we were at. It was some pretty cool stuff over there. So you can take a look and try and give you a view of all there was to see Godzilla wise. And now we're getting into the real Pokemon section. I forget what floor this was. There was like I said, I think there was like 7 floors, so it kind of got very overwhelming. But when we found the actual Pokemon area, this is where I spent the majority of my time. We saw plushies. There was like Lego type things there. It wasn't Lego branded, but like the Lego style. There was these little action figures, and then larger versions of them there. The legendary Pokemon. And there's kind of a little idea of what they look like outside of the box. More plushies, more smaller figurines. There was real small figurines. There was Pokeballs. There was it was so overwhelming. I didn't know what to grab. And they had these things were really cool. They were like little puzzles. And there was like all different types of animes, One Piece, just Japanese art and scenery. There was Pokemon ones, all different kinds of things. That's kind of an idea what they look like when they're put together. Godzilla, they were actually really cool when they're put together. You can get an idea what they look like. Those little boxes end up being these big old wooden puzzle figurines. Really cool. My wife got the Snorlax one there and put it together, and I think she has it on her desk at work. This was actually a Star Wars pop-up that was in one of the shopping centers in the Shibuya area, and we went in there and took a look. Just so much stuff in there. Action figures, puzzles, clothing. I'm following wifey around. She's showing me stuff. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. We spent a little time in here as well, just looking at everything there was to see.
That's so cool. Oh yeah, that's the one that I almost got. How much of those?
What was really cool to me was the shirts, because I mean, like, this is in Japan. Where are you gonna find other Star Wars stuff like this? It's got these specific designs on them with the writing and all that on there was really cool. So I spent quite a while looking through the shirts at this Star Wars pop-up. I was really drawn to anything having to do with the prequels. I grew up during the time of the prequels releasing in theaters, so for me, my Star Wars is the prequels, the first 3 films, episodes 1 through 3. That always has this special spot for me. Just because like episode 1 was the first Star Wars that I saw in theaters. And then here's some more action figures. I don't know if these are hot toys or if they were just random branded figurines from Japan, but they're really cool looking. You had helmets, looks like die-cast metal figurines, just all kinds of stuff here. It was so much to look at. Getting to the back of the store, there's more shirts. There was shirts and jackets and like a comic booky Japanese inspired style, which was really cool to look at, and it's kind of like a one of a kind type thing. I mean, I'm sure you could find stuff like that online, but like you're not going to have bought it in Japan. you know.
Be $9.50.
That's not bad. Only XL left over.
Yeah.
But this was a really cool find. We were just kind of walking down the street and saw Star Wars pop-up sign on a concrete pillar. And so we had to make our way in there, check it out. And now at this point we had made our purchases and we're headed back out of the store. This was one of the things I really wanted to see for sure, the Pokemon Center in Tokyo. It was insane when I went in there. As you can see, the line to the register was almost completely wrapped around the wall from the register to the exit of the store. So I didn't end up buying anything out of here because it was stressing me out, the amount of people that was in there, and I was like, I'm not gonna wait in that line for just a plushie or whatever. So I just went around in here and looked at all there was to see, but I didn't end up purchasing anything from the Pokemon Center. But it was nuts in there, just insane. But there was so many cool things in there to see. I feel like it was mostly plushies, but there was some other interesting things in there, and they had packs in there too. Almost impossible to find Pokemon packs in the US, so it was kind of cool to go into the Pokemon Center and see that they're selling packs at the register. That was kind of cool. But I really liked those little figurines, and I almost bought one, but I was just like, yeah, I'm not. You can see the beginning of the line there. I was like, yeah, I'm not standing in that line for this little thing. Especially when I was able to get some similar type stuff at the Don Quixote and not have to stand in the giant line. But yeah, these things were cool. Looks like some deck holders, some deck sleeves, some really cool merchandise in there. Kind of some unique style stuff in this place. But it was popping out of control in there. Real crazy. Lots of really cool stickers. Pretty big Charizard guy, Charizard and the evolution, so I liked that one, but as I said, didn't end up getting anything from here just because of the line was too crazy. There's another kind of view of just the start of the line, and it just continues to wrap around almost the entire wall, almost to the exit of the store. Just a few yards down from the Pokemon Center was another little Godzilla area, which I had to check out, and they have that massive Godzilla statue, but there was tons of stuff in here too. Figurines, all kinds of random figurines of Godzilla and Godzilla Universe kaijus. Really cool to see. They had some like really awesome posters that were just to the right of where I'm standing now, the opposite wall of where I'm looking now, that I really wanted to get, but then I had to think, how am I going to get this home without it getting crushed? And I ended up just passing because I didn't want to spend the money on these things and have them just get destroyed on the way back, which was a little unfortunate. But I think wifey and I want to go back at some time in the near future, so if that's the case and we do end up going back, I'll have to do better preparation and bring like an empty suitcase or something to bring all my swag back in. There was a little anime store with the big Luffy statue out in front of it. Walked through here. This was in the same area that the Pokemon Center and the Godzilla store was. And there was also a Nintendo store as well in that same little area. I believe this is the Shibuya Parko Mall. There's the Pokemon Center again. It was behind the Nintendo area.
It is time.
And here we are, back in the States. Gonna quickly, well, as quickly as possible, go through all the pickups from our Japan collectibles hunt. Multiple items, as you can see. I'm setting them out here on the table. Multiple items from several different genres. Gonna be mostly Pokemon and Godzilla things that we look at over the next several minutes, in conclusion to part one of our 4-part Japan adventure series. And this will obviously be the conclusion to our collectibles hunt. So this first item, this I actually got at Tokyo Disney, but I am just opening it with the rest of the collectible items. And I got this out of a vending type machine in the Toontown section of Tokyo Disney. It is a little figurine of the monorail that they have there at Tokyo Disney. The vending machine had all different types of vehicles that are at Tokyo Disney in there. So I thought this one was pretty cool that I got out of the vending machine. Next thing we've got here is the single gachapon that I got while I was in Japan. I wanted to get many more of these things, but the area I got this on was just on the street in downtown Tokyo. It was a bunch of the gachapon, or the gashapon, I guess there's multiple translations of how you say it. The vending machines that were on the side of the street. Where I got this one at, a lot of them were sold out. Some of the ones I really wanted were sold out. So this was the one that I liked the most that did have available items in it that you could get. They have like stores full of these things in certain areas, but we went with a very large group, so it was difficult to kind of branch off and do our own thing when we were in a large group like that. But this one I got, it's like a crab mixed with a tank. It's super random, but I like it. It's cool. It's a nice little keepsake. And though these gashapon things are like super big in Japan, so I had to at least get one. Here we have a magnet of Godzilla. I'm probably gonna keep this in the package because I'm not gonna put it on the fridge. I just like the way it looks, so I grabbed it. Here we have a couple Godzilla grab bags, and we're gonna have grab bags, these blind grab bags that are Pokemon centered as well. And what I didn't realize about a lot of these when I got them was that they were bath bombs. I just thought that it was a blind grab bag figurine where it was just like a ball with a figurine in it, but it ended up being a bath bomb, which was, I was a little bit surprised when I opened it and it was the bath bomb in there, but it's fine. I mean, I'm getting the figurine out of it anyway. I just had to put it in water and wait till it dissolved. So we'll see later on what we got out of that Godzilla bath bomb. The second grab bag we had here of Godzilla, this ended up being what they're calling a water gun. It's just like I guess you could put water in it and squirt the water out, according to the pictures on the back. I still don't have no clue what that silver package is. I'll have to use Google Translate to see if I can figure out what the words say on there. This is the one I got, the Mecha Godzilla. So it's kind of like a squishy, rubbery little toy. See, I'm squishing it there. It's kind of like a rubber duck, honestly. That's like how it feels. And what it reminds me of is a rubber ducky. And supposedly you can put water in there and squirt it out of the chest. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to try that out or not. The first Pokemon thing we got here was a Master Ball puzzle, metal puzzle. Supposedly this is a puzzle. I've tried to take it apart and it hasn't come apart. The top of it just spins. This is not exactly what I expected it to be when I opened the box. I thought it was going to be the color of the ball on the top. It ended up being just the silver chrome finish, which, I mean, still looks cool. And it's got a little triangular stand that you can set it on. So I'm not disappointed with it. I still like it. It's just not exactly what I thought it was when we were at the Don Quixote and I saw it there on the shelf. But, I mean, I still like it. It's pretty cool. Eventually, if I get a recording set up in our spare room, I may just have this sitting out on the desk in there. But so here's some more bath bombs. Again, did not know that these were bath bombs when I got them. I was just so distracted in that store with the amount of noise that was in there and all the stuff that was in there that I didn't take the time to read the package. I just thought, I saw, oh, Pokeball with the Eevee. I was like, oh, this is this is going to be like one of those toys where you open the Pokeball and it's got the figurine in there. But not exactly. It ended up being 2 more bath bombs, but still the same idea. It's whatever. It's still the same idea. Like it has a figurine in there. I had to open both of these up. and put them in water, and we will see what they end up being later on in the video. And these parts here, I did cut a decent amount out of this portion of the video just because I was struggling a little bit to get the plastic open. I have some issues with my right thumb at times, and it's hard for me. My grip strength is not what it once was, so sometimes it's hard for me to rip like shrink wrapped plastic. Sometimes it's hard for me to rip it open, so it took me a minute to get those open. So I'd have cut large portions of that part out. I don't feel like it'd be super fun. Well, maybe it would be super fun to watch me struggle opening them, but I cut a decent part of it out. This next portion of the video, we had purchased three small figurines, and you can see from the box what we got there. We got the Captain Pikachu. Almost all of the things that I got from Don Quixote, like I like all of them, but none of them were like exactly what I was picturing. And again, I feel like that's just due to how distracted and stressed out I was while we were in there. I really like all these things. They're just, these three especially are smaller than I expected them to be. But I mean, they ended up being like $2 or $3 or somewhere between like $1.50 and $3 each. So I don't really care about the size. Like I basically spent zero money on these things, and they're pretty cool looking Pokemon figurines. So here's the Charizard. And there was a ton of these. There was these small ones, and then there was boxes that were quite a bit bigger, probably 3 to 4 times these. They just were more expensive, so I opted to grab more of the smaller ones. Now that we are back and I'm opening them, part of me wishes that I had got one of the larger ones. My nephew ended up getting a Mewtwo one of the larger style, and it ended up being pretty cool. So part of me wishes that I had grabbed one of the larger ones, but I'm not disappointed with these items. I am glad that I was able to get 3 of them, so that's kind of cool. I think, even though I'm a pretty big Charizard guy, my favorite of these 3 figurines is this Mew. I think that my favorite Pokemon, other than Charizard or the lower evolutions of Charizard, is my favorite Mew and Mewtwo. I don't know. I gravitate to them. I like them. I think the most of any Pokemon other than, as I said, the lower evolutions of Charizard and Charizard himself. Yeah, I like this Mew a lot, and I did like that it had a stand that you can set Mew's feet in and helps him to stand up, because there's no way that this one, with the angle of his feet, there's no way that it would be able to stand on its own without that little display right there. So these are the 3 Pokemon figurines, smallish figurines, that I got during our shopping adventure at Don Quixote in downtown Tokyo. Some more Pokemon items. These are 2 more bath bombs, and these are quite a bit larger. The bath bomb, anyway, quite a bit larger than the Godzilla one was. So this one is a Kanto blind bag bath bomb. You can see you could get 4 different Pokemon on there. And this one has got some mega evolutions, and it has 4 megas that you could get in this package. So we're going to take the bath bombs out, put them in this large bowl, and we'll see eventually what we ended up getting. And there, the yellow one is the Kanto one. And the next one, I believe, is purple, which will be the Mega Evolutions Bath Bomb. So this item is from Tokyo Disney as well. My wife got this. This is a Toy Story popcorn container. What I will mention in the final video of this 4-part Japanese adventure series, when we go over our visit to Tokyo Disney, it's just the prices at Tokyo Disney are so low. It's crazy. I think this thing came, and I'll open it in a second so you can see where the popcorn goes. This thing came full of popcorn, and this is like super hard plastic. So it's like, it's not a flimsy item at all. Like, it's not gonna, you could drop this thing from pretty high, and I feel like it would be fine. Different designs on every side of the box, and then the strap had the green army men climbing up it, which this thing was sick. But it was like, I think this and the popcorn was like $25 or something. It was full of popcorn. They had all different styles there, and then I think my daughter got a Monsters Inc. one, but we may talk about that later on in our final video. Here's some shirts that I got when we were going through the different shops in the Shibuya area. These two, the Gengar.
Gengar! Gengar! Gengar!
And Charizard.
Hit the stage like I'm Charizard. Play like a Charizard. Play like I'm Charizard. Big body Charizard. Big body Charizard. Big body Charizard.
We got at Uniqlo in Japan, and I know this store is a chain. We have these stores in the US, but I got those shirts from Japan, so that was cool to me. This is what I ended up getting from the Star Wars pop-up. This Vader shirt, and he has a very Japanese samurai look to him, which is what sold me on the shirt. Like, I wanted a Vader shirt for sure, and the fact that he was dressed in a samurai type armor is what sold the shirt for me. Here is what we ended up getting out of the bath bombs. So the Godzilla, the small Godzilla bath bomb, we ended up getting the king himself, Godzilla. And then in the Pokeball bath bombs, we got the Munchlax out of one of them. And then the second one we ended up getting was Dragonite. I was pretty happy with both of these. I'm not like a huge Munchlax fan, but it looks pretty cool. And I am a pretty big Dragonite fan, so I was happy with that one. Alright, and then out of the larger Pokemon bath bombs, the Kanto bath bomb, we ended up getting the man himself, Charizard, which I was very happy with. I think the Charizard was the one I wanted the second most out of the 4 options. So I was not disappointed at all to see Charizard emerge from the bath bomb. And these things, they were not what I expected, but I was pretty impressed with how they looked and the craftsmanship of them. They're pretty cool little figurines.
Hit the stage like I'm Charizard. Play like a Charizard. Play like I'm Charizard. Big body Charizard. Big body Charizard. Big body Charizard.
And then the final bath bomb, the Mega Evolutions, we ended up getting Mega Gengar, which I am a very big Gengar fan, so I was happy getting this guy and seeing him emerge from the depths of the bath bomb bowl.
Gengar! 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 Gengar!
But that'll be it. This was part 1 of our 4-part series, the Japanese Adventures, the Collectibles Hunt. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw, and stay tuned. We'll have 3 more parts coming of this series as the Seattle Card Kid does Japan. Thank you. Bye.